and don't go as deep. This time, drop straight down on your knees. Hold tightly to his neck to make him bend at the hips. Reach through and grab his heel, flip him laterally. Be sure to pull his head down so that he bends almost double at the hips. Although seldom used, the cradle from the shot put lift position is an excellent maneuver, a quick 5 points. It begins with a shot put lift, then drop your arm into a deep half Nelson on his neck. Drop to your knees, throw your free arm behind his knee, lock hands, and cradle. Let's watch it again. Watch the smooth, aggressive continuity of this attack. The Chancery and bar arm begins from a shot put lift. Then you slip into a deep half Nelson, gripping his chin in your palm. Apply the bar arm with the other arm, lower his head. Although not as popular as many moves, this is a strong arm pinning hold. Don't change your hold as he falls. Just crimp him into the mat, to his side, or on his back. The Chancery and 3/4 bar arm is similar to the previous move. This time, however, you lock your hands under his armpit, then lower his head and drop him on his back. A good hold for a long arm boy. Your hand lock must be under his armpit to be legal. It's a pinning combination from the start. This double leg tackle begins from a shot put lift. Get in deep, rip up on his legs. In the shot put series, he won't be expecting it. From a shot put position, most attacks are directed to the upper body. Attacking his legs can come as a big surprise. Motion and balance are the keys to a good fireman's attack. Let's look at the drop to knees cradle. Duck under the armpit and pull tightly on his arm. Drop to your knees, throw an arm hook, and tip to your shoulder. Secure a tight grip on his arm. Throw your arm hook, bring him to the mat head first. Follow through with a cradle. An effective way to set up this drop to sitting cross arm pin is by pushing your opponent. When you feel him pushing back or leaning on you, sit through. While still retaining his arm, sit through deeply. Go completely under him. Arm hook his crotch and take him towards his head. Make your sit through quickly and deeply. Hook his crotch and dump him. Movement, not muscle, makes this series work. The arm pivot drop is a daring hold because you turn your back to your opponent, but quickness, agility, and surprise can turn it into an almost sure pin. Grab one of his arms tightly with both hands, duck under, and pivot to the outside. Reverse arm drag him onto his back. Not normally used because it is a daring and rough hold, this move can occasionally catch your opponent by surprise. Always hold tightly to his arm while you're making your pivot. Here's a frequently used and often effective maneuver in the fireman series. It's a tilt shoulder point to mat. Hold tightly to his arm, your neck firmly in his armpit. Drop your shoulder point to the mat. This pulls your opponent off balance. Roll him into a pinning position. Once again, when you tilt, you must touch your shoulder, not just your elbow, to the mat. Retain his arm and roll into a cross arm pin. If your tilt is stopped, or your opponent spreading or bracing with his knees, reach through and trip his knee, then go after a pin. The sit-through is a must for a fireman sequence. When you run up against a strong arm boy who stops your tilt, braces, and holds you up, try it. Remove your hand from his arm. Drop both hands to the mat. Sit through. Turn into him and drive for control. The sit-through can also result in a pinning position. The reverse wing is another maneuver which can be worked on an opponent who knows how to check your fireman series. He'll probably check you with his free arm on the inside of your thigh. So you clamp his arm to your side and sit through as in the previous move. This forces him into a pinning position. Watch it again. A free arm on your inside thigh is the most common way to block your fireman's. Nailing down his wing and sitting through is a sure way out. A cross-arm drag from a fireman's position is another typical sequence you might work on a strong opponent who ties you up tight and won't let you tilt. Reach in, secure one of his arms with both of yours. Slip your head out of his armpit quickly and jerk him through and step behind for control. The fireman's is an extremely effective series.